In a world where every structure tells a story, one name has been crafting narratives of success for 100 years, C.E. Gleason Constructors. For a century, we've been the general contractors of opportunity, the builders of dreams. From retail developments to state-of-the-art industrial complexes, real estate developments, and senior living communities. Our legacy is defined by the diverse portfolios of projects we've brought to life. With a commitment to craftsmanship, we've transformed visions into reality. Here's to 100 years. Let us help you expand your business. C.E. Gleason Constructors, building visions and turning dreams into reality.
Welcome to Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond, a show that explores the people, players, places, and most importantly, communities that make up pickleball in Michigan and around the world. Here's your host, Tony Conley.
Welcome to Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond. I'm your host, Tony Conley. Thanks so much for tuning in. Our producer extraordinaire is Benjamin Robinson. The sport and popularity of pickleball is exploding around the world, and especially here in Michigan. On Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond, we'll talk with the players, the pros, the facility owners, the tournament promoters, the equipment and clothing leaders, and most importantly, the communities that encompass pickleball. We've got a great guest on today. Xavier Moye is the director of pickleball at Court One Athletic Club in Lansing, Michigan, and he joins us. Xavier, how are you?
Good, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Xavier, how you living, man? How's things going?
Pretty good. Busy getting all the fall scheduling out. Hopefully people will be coming back inside here. Be nice. Getting the leagues, tournaments going,
Yeah.
hoping for another busy season like last year.
Now, I have played at your indoor courts, and that's sweet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Do you guys have outdoor courts yet?
We do not. We just have the indoor pickleball courts. Outdoor courts are distant future.
Okay. All right. Well, before we dive into Court One, talk a little bit about your background. Take us from high school to where you are right now.
Yeah, I went to high school in Lansing at Eastern. I'm a Quaker. Graduated in 2014. When I graduated, I went to LCC, Lansing Community College, for kinesiology. I was interested in being personal trainer, somewhere in the sports medicine realm. After a year there, I took some time off, started working here at Court One 2015, September 2015, started working here, got my personal training certificate, trained here for about 3 years, ended up not liking it as much as I did in the beginning. And around that time, at the end of the 3-year mark, that's when, or end of the first year and a half, around 2016, we actually had a fire here at Court One.
Yeah.
We pretty much redid the entire basketball court, redid the tennis courts, pretty generous with the insurance. And we actually put in pickleball courts. So we just put in the painted down lines. I don't know if you were here before our construction.
No. I was there. Well, I guess I should say yes, because I was coaching travel basketball, and we practiced at that facility quite a bit.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Did you play before we just did these new courts here last December? Okay. So we put in this multi-surface court. It's like this really hard, squishy rubber that you can play volleyball, basketball, anything on. And we just painted down some pickleball lines on there. That kind of leads into where I kind of got started playing pickleball. We hired this girl who played on the MSU tennis team at the time. So we hired her to teach some pickleball and then also do some shifts in her childcare, that we used to have childcare over here. So she kind of doubled down on both. And I met her, we became friends, and then she kind of showed me what pickleball was. I'd never heard of it up to 2016. So that's when she showed me how to play. And then very shortly after that, maybe after working here for 4 months, she left to move to Florida with the MSU coach at the time to play pro pickleball. So then I just kind of took over here with the little amount of pickleball we had at the point there. So her name's actually Catherine Parento. Right now, she's probably the top 3 female player in the world in pickleball. And the coach at the time was Simone Jardim.
So Catherine Parento, you said she was she from Michigan?
She played on MSU's tennis team.
Okay. All right. So kinesiology, personal trainer, all of a sudden pickleball. So it's funny how folks get so hooked to it when they first start playing. Jesse Stipkat got me
Mhm.
kind of involved. So tell me about that. Tell me about that first experience of playing
Mhm.
and what hooked you hook, line, and sinker.
Um, I would say just like most other young people when they first get into pickleball. I think I was 21 when I first started playing. I was like, oh, from the looks of it, it looks like an old person sport. Just seeing it, but after watching Catherine play, I mean, she was 21 at the time still and D1 tennis all star, and she's out there having fun. I was like, all right, there's something to it. So she showed me how to play, and I at the time I played a lot of basement table tennis. Was pretty decent at that, and this was just like a bigger version of it and a lot
Hmm.
more people. Instead of being in the basement playing against my cousins or my grandparents, I get to play with other people now. And because Lansing, I haven't really found many places, but table tennis seems to be pretty short in Lansing. So
Hmm.
it's something I could do with a racket because I like the idea of racket sports at the time. I never played tennis. I played soccer in high school. So this was just a ton of fun, met a lot of people. It was very easy to learn at first because it's just tennis rules and pretty self-explanatory rules. Like obviously don't hit the ball out of bounds. Ball can't land out of bounds. The scoring for doubles definitely took me a little bit to get used to. It was a little tricky, but makes sense now, obviously. But just the community of meeting all these different people. I'm out there, 21 years old, personal trainer at the time. I'm getting beat up by 60-year-old players who are barely moving but put that shot wherever they want. And then I'm out of breath. I'm sweating. They haven't even broken a sweat yet. It was a ton of fun. And pickleball has such a quick rate of getting better.
Hmm.
And it just keeps me motivated to keep playing. Like, oh, I keep getting better week to week, play to play, game to game. So yeah, it's gonna hook me and keep playing.
Do you have a rating yet, Javier?
My duper right now, I'm not sure, is probably like a 4 or 9. Don't get me
Oh.
started on duper.
Hmm.
Not to toot my own horn,
Hmm.
should be a little bit higher. Duper is a good thing and a bad thing for the sport.
Hmm.
In my opinion, mostly bad. Not just because my rating is lower than I think, but we can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, my duper rating right now is probably like 4 or 9.
Are you playing in a lot of tournaments?
Yes, that's another thing. Tournaments for pickleball every weekend. So when I first started out, I was probably at that time, 2016, pickleball in the US and Michigan in general was first getting started. So it wasn't a ton of players. There's probably like 10-5-0 players at that point. I mean, you had Catherine, Simone, and Leah Jansen was in Michigan at that time.
Hmm.
Right there, those are three of some of the best players in the world. And there was just 5-0 players playing in Michigan. So you get a tournament once a month here and there and sign up for them. They're fairly cheap. You get to meet a lot of people, find new styles of play, and there's a ton of fun. Fun way to be competitive.
So, Javier, you've been playing for 8 years now. Talk about the growth that you have seen from 2016 to now, especially in not only the Lansing area, but the state of Michigan.
Yeah. Like I said, when I first started playing, maybe a tournament once a month here and there, and we would typically play against the same people. So I got used to meeting all those people, and then I got better fairly quickly. So around the 4-0 range, the circle got a lot smaller since it was such a new sport. There weren't a ton of really good players. The 5-0 players, like I said, were those three really good players, and the rest of them were just retired tennis folks. So it was pretty small at that point. I would say by 2018, I was still playing with a lot of the same people. We got some newer people here in Lansing. At that point, Lansing was a pretty strong showing for pickleball players. We had DJ Howard, Todd Dowrick, Kristen Reinhardt, Eric Hansen, all those guys played here. And those are some of the top 5-0 players at the time.
Hmm.
Fast forward to COVID 2020, when everyone just decided to go play outside, that's when pickleball really blew up, just exploded. And a lot of these, I wouldn't say, in no way would I say like unsuccessful tennis players in college, but realizing there's a sport they can be competitive in and be, in my opinion, pickleball is probably the most social sport out there. So it's a way for them just to go out, play with friends, and meet a ton of new people. So we had a lot more younger, more talented players just jump in immediately. So now when I go to tournaments, even now, I'm playing against people I've never played before. I'm only 30 years old, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm starting to become the oldest person in some of these younger brackets, which is just weird for me to say, weird for me to think about, but it's just exploded. You find a pickleball tournament every weekend now. You can travel all across this country just to play in these big tournaments. The pro scene's gotten huge. There's a ton of big tournaments in Michigan now and a ton of great facilities.
Javier, let's talk about Court One for just a second. I had the
Mhm.
opportunity to play there week before last, and there were a ton of courts. In just a bit here, I want you to tell me how many. But what I found interesting is Jesse had brought me and my wife along to play, and it reminded me of AAU basketball, which I coached both my sons
Mhm.
in. When we got there, people I had played with in DeWitt Township as well as Hazlitt. Some of them were there, and we like knew each other, and the community was really surprising to me. Talk a little bit about that, and talk to me about Court One and what they have to offer pickleball players.
Yeah, Court One's been in Lansing, I believe, since the 70s. So it has a huge just community standing already. A ton of tennis for sports. Our main sport is still tennis. Tennis is just huge. So we had those six courts originally after 2016. And last year, Dr. Messenger, the owner, said, "Hey, I think we should not go all in, but I think we should go really deep into pickleball. Let's try to capitalize on a lot of this boom." So initially we were going to take out all of the tennis courts here at the north location, just keep the ones at the Okemos location. Rightfully so, we had some pushback from the some of our tennis players, so we kept two courts and decided to convert some of the basketball courts and two tennis courts into 12 pickleball courts,
Hmm.
all individually fenced. We got Lakehold to do our courts. They're the same people who do the Belknap courts over in Grand Rapids and the Miami Open for tennis down in Florida. So we got
Hmm.
them to do all courts because we wanted to have premier top of the line courts here. Like I said, all individually fenced, nice spacing in between. And we contacted Pickleball Central to get a pro shop involved as well. So just to bring something a little extra for the pickleball. But like I said, we have 12 individually fenced courts, 11 playable. We use the 12th one as our pro shop and social area
Hmm.
so people can mingle and communicate in there as well.
So, Javier, what do you tell beginning players who are just starting to play? What are some tips to help them along the road to getting better?
Oh, yeah. Number one, have fun. Go out there. It's such a social sport. Go to these parks all around the city when it's a really nice day out. You'll be no shortage of pickleball players outside playing. When you come into Court One, join our beginner open place, take our classes, take some lessons. But biggest thing is grab a paddle, grab a ball, grab some of your friends, take an hour class to learn how to play, learn how to score just a little bit. An hour is more than enough to get you going for the next couple of weeks. And when you feel comfortable and want to start getting a little bit more competitive or advance your skills, that's when you take lessons. Sign up for one of our tournaments here, one of our round robins, private lessons. There's individual ratings, individual age groups, so there's really no excuse not to join a tournament. Mhm.
Javier, once a player starts getting to that 2-5 to 3-5 area, they know the game. What's the main thing that they can do to get better and to just be more competitive?
So to be blunt, not something that a lot of players like to hear. If they do want to be competitive, they have to cut down on the rec games and they have to
Hmm.
drill more. Even drilling once a week for an hour, night and day difference. You'll get way more reps, be able to work on particular shots over and over again. Let's say you want to get better at hitting dinks, cross court backhand dinks. 1 hour of drilling could equal up to about 10 hours of rec game.
Mm.
You'll get way more reps, consistent, and like I said, night and day difference. So drilling, drilling, drilling.
Okay, so Javier, taking the next step, once a player gets to that 4.0, what do they need to do to get better and as they start to approach the pro skill type level?
Mm-hmm. You'd want to travel just a little bit. roughly you only get as good as your group, as the people you're playing with. So if you're playing with the same people, you're all going to kind of plateau around the same level. You all know how each other play. So getting out to tournaments to get you travel a little bit, maybe out the Grand Rapids, or even joining little mixers here and there around the state or even around the city. Like we have the Michigan Athletic Club as well. So even playing some players from there can be radically different than your solid group of four that you've been playing with for the past couple of years. But start drilling even more with the purpose now. So finding a partner that can challenge you in drilling as well. It's always nice to go out, drill with your kids or drill with your spouse. But if your spouse is much better than you or not at the quite same level as you, the reps aren't going to be the same that you're going to get in the tournament setting. But going out to tournaments, playing, still having fun, but recording your games is really good as well, especially at a tournament. Tournament players play a lot differently than they would in rec games. In rec games,
how so?
So in rec games, I'm probably the best player in the world. In a tournament, if I'm playing a 5-0 tournament, I'm dropping down a lot. I'm a little bit more hesitant. I'm trying to place my shots because now I have the notion of I'm playing with my partner. They're not just showing up to court one local club. We've traveled for this. I don't want to let them down. So that's in my head as well. So I want to make sure I'm hitting the correct shots instead of going out there and just having rec play, just hitting a speed up when I shouldn't speed up if I have my buddy in front of me. Now there's two opponents in front of me that I want to beat. So we have to have a strategy. We have to make sure we're hitting our correct shots, speeding up when it's right, maybe targeting a player as well, either the better player or the worst player. More commonly, the worst player, because you want to win the game. You're not worried about them having fun. Having fun is winning in tournaments. Yeah.
Javier, when it comes to picking out the right partner, what's the secret? What do players need to look for?
That depends person to person. I gel pretty well with everyone playing. So if I'm playing with someone super competitive and they like to strategize, I work well with that. We can strategize, learn how to beat the bad guys in front of us. If I'm playing with someone, let's say a closer buddy of mine, and they just want to have fun, I'm fine with that as well. I can have fun. That actually is less pressure for me, and I might play a little bit better. My mixed partner, or generally my mixed partner, is Downey Fernberg. I don't know if you've ever met Downey.
No.
But she's probably top 5 player in the state right now. Phenomenal player. One of her coaches here at Court One. I'm always grateful whenever she asks me to play. Usually that means her main or a better partner is busy or has already been taken up. So we play very well together. You hit the ball anywhere near her, we're going to win that point. She is very competitive and we have a brother-sister relationship. So if anyone watches us play, you're going to think we are the worst partners. Maybe I'm a terrible person. Maybe she's a terrible person because we're arguing, we're bickering together. As soon as that point or as soon as that game's over, it's perfectly fine. We're just fine. But that's just kind of how we communicate. And then sometimes with other partners, might not even need to speak at all. Like, I know you didn't mean to hit that dink into the net. I don't care. The only thing I care about as a partner is if in a tournament is if they're making bad decisions. If it's a good idea, you just missed a ball, you missed a ball. Great. But if the ball is 1 centimeter from the ground and you're speeding it up into a dude who's has the best hands in the world, that's just a bad shot. We shouldn't be doing that. So that's when I tend to get a little annoyed. I try not to show it out. I try to bottle it inside for the games at least.
Javier, how big a deal are paddles and shoes to a player's game?
I would say shoes to a player's game. I would say shoes are more important. You just want to find a pair of shoes that are very comfortable, gives you adequate support. You don't want to be playing in running shoes. Their soles are a little too thick. And pickleball, especially once you're playing tournament play, it's a lot of kitchen play. So it's a lot of lateral movement, not front and back. So you want that support on the side, good ankle support. You want to find shoes you don't think about. Also, you want to weigh in how long do those shoes last? Or the soles, do they wear out pretty quickly? How expensive are they? I really like the On shoes. They're just really expensive. They're $280 and they don't last $280 worth. So I don't want to keep buying those shoes, but those are my favorite shoes right now. I've been playing with Skechers. When I teach and play rec games, I play in Skechers. They're cheap and the soles last a long time, but I feel more stable in the On shoes. When it comes to paddles, this is more of a recent philosophy I have. I always recommend players to buy whatever the most powerful paddle is in their price budget. just because with the control paddles, they're really good at slowing down the game, putting the shots where you want to put it. But when you want that power, you're not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a power paddle, it's going to have a little bit higher of a learning ceiling to learn that control, but you will learn that control and you will have that power when you need it. Yeah.
What's the difference in those two paddles? Is one thicker, one heavier?
Generally, the thicker paddles have more control. They're softer.
Okay.
The thinner paddles have a little bit more power to it. Paddle technology has advanced to the point where it's almost flipping a little bit. So for an example, I'll grab these ones right here. So we're a Yola sponsored club, but Yola has their new Gen 4. This is the 14 millimeter, the Ben Johns one. That's a really good paddle. I feel I don't get the same power I get from the 16 millimeter. So 16 millimeter is actually thicker, so it should have more control. But I feel I get a little bit more power with that paddle, just with the 16. I'm not sure why. But Carbon also has a true foam. You can have all the control in the world with this paddle. This is they only make 14 millimeters for this one. And you can get the power of the 16 millimeter Yola. Just with that Yola or with this Carbon, you're going to have to swing a lot more. With that Yola, it bounces off a little bit quicker, which I prefer, so I can have quicker swings. But I would recommend people play around. Obviously, the best brands right now are going to be Yola, Selkirk, and Paddletech. Paddletech's a Niles company in Michigan. That's what I played with before we became a sponsored Yola club. If we weren't a sponsored Yola club, I'd still be using the Paddletech. That so far is my favorite paddle. They have a 12 millimeter version, which is super light. That's another thing you have to think about is the weight of the paddle. If you're going to be hitting 1,000 reps in a day, either in a tournament or drilling, you want to have something that's not going to fatigue your arm, your forearms, or your elbow. You don't want injuries. So those Paddletechs are super light, and you get a ton of power with them as well. So can't really beat that.
What's the best type of paddle when you want to start or you already are using a lot of top spin and backspin? Or does it matter? It's all technique.
It really just depends. Oh, spin wise, yeah, it's usually technique. There's paddles that have a little bit more grit on it. You want to be careful with those. If you get a paddle, let's say like the 6-0 Ruby, ton of spin, most spin you're going to get out of a paddle. The problem is they use that with grit paint, so that wears off fairly quickly as well. So if you're a tournament player and maybe you're sponsored by them or have the funds to keep buying Ruby paddles, get those paddles. You're going to get the most amount of spin. But if you want something that's going to last a while and still have decent spin, you just want to go with something that has carbon fiber face on it, but the grooves, you can always clean those out with a paddle eraser.
What's the craziest thing you've seen at a tournament or at a game? Something that you didn't expect to see or something that you thought was wild or something that happened?
Oh, man. I'm sure there's something. There's only one incident that's coming. It's not necessarily something I didn't expect to see. It was just an interesting event. I was actually playing with Downey at the Meyer State Games in Grand Rapids. It's probably like 4 years ago. And we were playing a couple out of towners and they beat us the first game or the first match. So we had to win out in order just to get at least second place. It was just a round robin, not bracket play. So this guy, I won't name him, but he was a jerk. He was not a fun person to play against or just kind of be around. So he was playing a couple of buddies of ours. And again, he was just being rude and my buddies called a timeout. And how the layout worked, there was a court here and then another court right on the other side. And Downey and I got called for our next match. I was on the other side. So during their timeout, back in the day, for the rules, you had to place your paddle on the court in the correct position, just at the timeout to signify where you're supposed to be at. They did that at the baseline, this guy. And as I walked past, I accidentally nudged his paddle with my foot. It was very much on purpose. And he called me out on it, rightfully so. So I just kicked his paddle. And he was screaming at me, threatening to fight me. And I'm playing the victim, like, I'm so sorry. It was an accident because no one else really saw it. They're just seeing this guy scream at me for an accident. So that's probably the closest I've ever been to seeing a fight with my own eyes on a pickleball court. And especially happened to me, which again, it was my fault. I mean, can't play too much of a victim, but yeah. That was probably it.
Coolest facility you've seen in Michigan or maybe even outside the state?
Yeah, in Michigan, indoors, I'd have to say Court One Athletic Clubs. Brighton Pickleball Club has a really nice facility as well. Nice kind of streaming system set up, which is pretty cool. Outside, I'd have to give it to Belknap Court in Grand Rapids. I believe they have 26 courts. They had an ice rink out there that they converted, and they host all the biggest tournaments. Nationwide, you can't really beat Naples, where the U.S. Open is at. It's around 100 courts. Super cool. Lifetime has really nice facilities. I did this tournament in Lifetime Atlanta, and that was really nice as well. So probably Naples.
And as you know, there are a lot of facilities popping up where you can go and have lunch and have cocktails and whatnot. Seems like a lot of those are starting to pop up around the state of Michigan too.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I've heard word there's supposed to be one over in East Lansing at some time. I don't know what the development is on there, but in Ann Arbor, they have Wolverine Pickleball, which is a really great social place. They have a ton of mixers, alcohol. What more can you want?
Javier, final question for you. So where does the game go now here in the state of Michigan and beyond?
We have as far as the competitive pro scene, we have a lot of young people coming out to play. We have Jace over in Grand Rapids. I think he's 16. He's one of the top players in the state. We have two MSU kids. One just graduated, their brothers, that played MSU tennis, that decided, hey, we want to go in on pickleball this summer. We want to see how far we can take the sport. And I played with the younger brother, Ethan, last year at Meyer State Games. We got fourth in his first 5-0 tournament. He's probably been playing 2 times since then. In singles, he just won it. Never playing singles before. That MSU tennis team is really good. Social wise, I just don't think we have enough parks to have all these people. You go to Patriarch Park on a Monday or Wednesday, there's gonna be close to 200 people there playing. We have Picklepalooza this Sunday over at Delta Mills Park, being put on by Delta Township. That's going to have around 400, 500 people. So I can't imagine how big it's going to be next year, because like I said, it's just an easy sport to pick up, learn how to play, go out, play with your family or friends, or just meet new people.
We've been talking with Xavier Moye. He's the director of pickleball at Court One Athletic Club in Lansing. Javier, for people who want more information about Court One, where do they go?
Yeah, go to court1.com, our website. Go over to the pickleball tab. That will usually direct you over to our Facebook page. That's where we post all of our upcoming events. You can reach out to any of our coaches for lessons, see our schedule for classes, keep an eye out for any tournaments. I'm going to be releasing all of our league information for the fall later today, so keep an eye out for that as well.
All right, Javier, I appreciate you and your time so much. I would say can't wait to play with you, but I think I gotta up my game before I get on the court with you. So I appreciate you so much. Thanks so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Tony Conley. This has been Pickleball Michigan and beyond. Thanks so much for tuning in. Our producer is Benjamin Robinson, and we will see you soon.
Thanks for listening to Pickleball Michigan and Beyond. Follow us on Facebook and check out our website, pickleballmichiganandbeyond.com.